Take a look around, turn on the TV, scroll through your news feed. You are being bombarded with a very specific, very polished image. You see sleek, silent cars gliding through futuristic cities with clear blue skies. You see happy families plugging in their vehicles while sipping organic coffee. They tell you this is the inevitable future. They tell you that the internal combustion engine is a relic of the past, something for dinosaurs and people who don't care about the planet. But deep down, you know something is wrong. You can feel it in your gut. You look at the price tag on those electric trucks, and you look at your paycheck and the math doesn't add up. You look at the infrastructure in your town, the potholes, the flickering streetlights, and you wonder how in the hell we are supposed to power millions of supercomputers on wheels. Here is the hard truth they are terrified you will figure out. The green future is a myth. It is a fabricated narrative designed to strip you of your wealth and your independence. The electric vehicle push isn't about saving the environment. It is about an economic bubble that is currently bursting right in front of our eyes. And if you aren't careful, you are going to get caught in the blast radius. Let's strip away the marketing fluff and look at the engine of this scam. It starts with the biggest lie of them all, that an electric car is a clean car. They love to point at the tailpipe. They say, look, no smoke, no emissions, it's magic. And sure, when that car is rolling down the highway, it's not pumping out exhaust. But do you think that car just appeared out of thin air? Do you think the battery grew on a tree? To build a single battery for an electric truck, you have to move 500,000 pounds of earth. We are talking about massive industrial mining operations. You need lithium, cobalt, nickel, copper, and where do we get this stuff? We don't get it from a clean, regulated mine in Ohio. We get it from open-pit mines in the Congo where children are digging through toxic mud with their bare hands. We get it from massive processing plants in China that run on coal. That's right. To make your clean battery, the Chinese are burning more coal than ever before. Huge diesel-powered machines that burn more fuel in a single day than your pickup truck burns in 5 years, are tearing up the planet to get these minerals. It is a shell game. They are just moving the pollution from their backyard to a third-world country and calling it green. And here is the geopolitical kicker. Who controls the supply chain? It's not the United States of America. For 100 years, we built our power on oil. And guess what? We have oil. We have natural gas. We can drill it, refine it, and sell it right here. We could be energy independent. But instead, we are trading our independence for dependence on China. China processes the vast majority of the world's lithium and cobalt. When you buy an EV, you are tethering your transportation to a supply chain controlled by a foreignry, the power that does not have our best interests at heart. But let's put the global politics aside for a second. Let's talk about your kitchen table. Let's talk about your wallet. Because this is where the scam really hurts, the working man. They sold you on the idea that these cars would be cheaper to own. No more gas stations. They said, just plug it in at home. Well, have you looked at your electric bill lately? Rates are climbing across the country, and they are going to keep climbing. It is basic supply and demand. Think about the power grid. Every summer, in California, in Texas, they issue warnings. They tell you to turn up your thermostat. They tell you to stop using your washing machine between 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. They are begging you to use less power because the grid is on the verge of collapse. They can barely keep the lights on when the air conditioning runs. Now, imagine what happens when millions of people get home from work at 5:30 p.m. and plug a car into the wall. The grid cannot handle it. It is physically impossible with our current infrastructure. Transformers will blow, substations will overheat, and the only way the power companies can manage it is by jacking up the price. We are moving toward a world of surge pricing for electricity. You think gas is expensive? Wait until you have to pay $10 worth of electricity just to get enough charge to drive to work, because you plugged in during peak hours. And it's not just the fuel cost, it's the car itself. An internal combustion engine is a machine. It's metal, gears, pistons, oil. If you take care of it, if you change the oil, rotate the tires, fix the belts, that truck will run for 20 years. It holds its value. You can sell a 10-year-old Silverado for a decent chunk of change. An EV is not a machine. An EV is a piece of consumer electronics. It is a laptop on wheels. And I want you to ask yourself, what is your laptop worth after 5 years? What is your smartphone worth after 5 years? Nothing. It's electronic waste. The battery in an EV degrades every time you charge it. After 8 or 10 years, that battery might only hold 60% of its charge. And replacing it, you are looking at $15,000, $20,000, maybe $25,000. That is more than the car is worth. This means that the used market for EVs is going to be a graveyard. Nobody is going to buy a used EV with an old battery. That means your resale value is zero. You are buying a disposable car. You are renting it from the manufacturer until the battery dies, and then you throw it away. That is a massive transfer of wealth from your pocket to the car companies. We are seeing the cracks form right now. Look at Hertz. Hertz is one of the biggest car rental companies in the world. A few years ago, they bought into the hype. They ordered thousands of Teslas and other EVs. They wanted to be the leaders of the green revolution. And you know what they did recently? They dumped them. They sold off 20,000 EVs, many at a huge loss, and went back to buying gas cars. Why? Because nobody wanted to rent them. People didn't want the hassle of finding a charger on vacation. But more importantly, Hertz found out that repairing an EV is a nightmare. If you get a dent in your bumper on a Ford F-150, you take it to the shop. They hammer it out or bolt on a new part, and it costs $500. You're back on the road in 2 days. If you get into a fender bender in an EV, and there is even a tiny scratch on the battery casing, the insurance company totals the car. The whole thing is scrapped. They can't take the risk of a battery fire. This is why insurance premiums for EVs are skyrocketing. You are paying to insure a luxury item that is as fragile as an egg. And because there are fewer mechanics who know how to work on them, the labor costs are through the roof. You are paying more upfront. You are paying more for insurance. You are paying more for tires because EVs are heavy. They chew through tires 20% faster than gas cars. And in the end, you have a car worth nothing. But the scariest part isn't the money. The money hurts, but we can survive being broke. What we can't survive is losing our freedom, and that is what this is really about. This is the part the media calls a conspiracy theory until it actually happens to you. Your old truck is mechanical, it is yours. You have the title, you have the keys, you turn the ignition, the spark plugs fire, and you go, no one can stop you. You can drive to the mountains, you can drive across the state line. It is a symbol of autonomy. These new cars, they are software. They are connected to the internet 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They are tracking where you go, how fast you drive, and how often you charge. We have already seen manufacturers turn off features remotely. Did you know some car companies are putting heated seats behind a paywall? You have the hardware in the car, but unless you pay a monthly subscription fee, they turn it off via satellite. Extra horsepower, subscription, increased range. Subscription. Now take that logic one step further. Imagine a world where the government decides there is a climate emergency. Or maybe another pandemic. Or maybe just civil unrest. With a gas car, if you have fuel in the tank, you can leave. With an electric car, they can just turn it off. They can limit your range. They can say you have already used your carbon allowance for the month. You cannot drive today. They can geofence your vehicle so it won't start. If you try to leave a certain zone, it is the ultimate leash, and you are paying $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 to put that leash around your own neck. Think about the blue-collar worker, the guys who actually build this country. You are out there in the elements. You are framing houses in the winter. You are fixing power lines in the storm. Have you ever seen what happens to an EV battery in freezing temperatures? The range drops by half, sometimes more. The chemical reaction in the battery slows down. Imagine being on a job site. It's 10 degrees below zero, and your truck won't start. Or it doesn't have enough juice to get you home because the cold drained the battery while it sat in the parking lot. That isn't just an inconvenience. That is a safety hazard. That is lost wages. These cars are not designed for the working class. They are toys for the laptop class. They are designed for people who work from home, drive 3 miles to Whole Foods to buy overpriced groceries, and have a heated garage to charge their car in. They are not designed for the man who needs to haul lumber, tow a trailer, and get home reliably after a 12-hour shift. So, why is this happening? If the math is so bad, if the product is so flawed, why are they pushing it so hard? Because there is massive money in the transition. It's a grift. The government is printing billions of dollars in subsidies. They are handing tax credits to people who buy these cars. They are giving massive grants to the manufacturers to build factories. The executives at these car companies know the truth. They see the data. They see the inventory piling up on dealer lots. Dealers are literally turning away shipments of EVs because they can't sell them. They sit there for hundreds of days, gathering dust. But the executives don't care. They are taking the government grant money, paying themselves massive bonuses, and when the bubble finally bursts, they will have their golden parachutes. They will walk away rich, and the taxpayer, you and me, will be left holding the bag. We will be left with a crumbling grid, a destroyed used car market, and a fleet of vehicles that are too expensive to fix. Ford is cutting production of the Lightning. GM is pulling back on their EV targets. Even the manufacturers are starting to blink. They are realizing that you cannot force a market that doesn't exist. You cannot force people to buy a product that is inferior to what they already have. People are voting with their wallets. The average American is looking at this deal and saying, "No thanks." So, what do you do? How do you protect yourself in this mess? First, do not buy into the hype. Do not let them shame you into thinking you are a bad person for driving a gas vehicle. Do not go into massive debt for a depreciating asset that relies on a charging network that barely works. Second, hold on to what you have. If you have a reliable gas engine, treat it like gold. Maintain it. Rust-proof it. Learn how to fix it yourself as the government tries to choke off the supply of new gas cars. With regulations and bans, the existing fleet of gas cars is going to become more valuable, not less. We are going to see a world where a 20-year-old diesel truck is worth more than a brand new electric one, simply because the diesel truck actually works. And finally, stay skeptical. They want you dependent. They want you plugged into their system, paying their surge pricing, subject to their software updates and their control. Don't give them the satisfaction. The bubble is bursting. The truth is coming out. The green future is nothing but red ink. Stay independent, stay free, and keep your engine running.